Very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for joining this fantastic Learning Bite session. I was reading and I realized the fact that learners have got 4 advantages over the rest of the world. One, they are much wiser than other people. Two, they have a great sound sleep because they learn some great stuff and they're able to use their energies positively. Three, they know how to kill their boredoms more effectively. And four, they become more and more talented with every passing minute in this world. So I want to thank you very much because you chose to be a learner, and big thanks to you for joining this session at 4 o'clock. Now, today is a very special session. Today, you and I will learn something very practical and very useful. Okay. Now, this session is on selling your ideas, on how you can become a great champion when it comes to selling your ideas. This will not just help you improve your sales, this will also help you become more convincing, more inspiring, and more influential in your conversations with people. Your customers, your internal customers, your colleagues, your family members, to anyone, for example. So my dear friends, welcome once again. Now, let me ask this question. What is the first thought that comes to your mind when you hear the word sale? What is selling all about? Is selling pushing someone to buy something? Or is selling inspiring someone that they realize that this is something which is going to create value in their life, and then they chose to buy what you want to sell them? Well, the second is the right example. Now, let's say you're thinking of going on a holiday with your family, okay? And you decide to take your family to Goa, for example. So you go and tell your wife and your kids that we are planning our holidays to Goa. Let's go to Goa. Well, that's not very convincing. Now, look at this one. You go and tell your wife, you always wanted to go to a place which has got beautiful churches, right? You love churches. You always thought of going to places where you could see a mind-blowing beach, the sunrise and the sunset, yes? And you know how much our kids love water sports. How would you feel if you go to a holiday destination which has got all this and more? Then she's more excited. So the point is, when you're creating value for the person that you're talking to, when you're creating value for your prospect, then it becomes easy for you to sell your thoughts further. So if you were to define selling, all it says is, what is selling? Selling is the ability to create value and benefits. Now, the way I define that is, it's the ability to inspire someone in a way that they see benefits in your offer. When they see benefits in your offer, then they're excited, then they're motivated, and then they have a desire to say yes. Okay. Now, today's session will give you amazing ideas to how you could create great value for people, and you can achieve better results when you're selling ideas to people. If you're excited, please type in the comment box and say BIO, bring it on. All right, let me bring these ideas on for you. Oh, wow, fantastic. Great, incredible, bring it on, lovely. So here we go, 5 awesome ideas to be a great sales champion, okay? Let's start with the first one. Now imagine I work in a bank, for example, and I have a prospective customer that I have to go and meet. There are 2 ways I can meet the customer. One is this. So I go and speak to my customer like this. Good morning, sir. My name is Ashish. I'm a relationship manager, and what I do is I manage finances for my customers, so I can help you. One way of doing that. Do you like that? Not too much. What is missing here is, of course, energy. Sale is nothing but power of your energy. It's about sharing energy from one person to another, giving good energy to people. That's the first step. And now, what is second very important thing I could have done better is this one. Look at this one and have a look and tell me if you like this one. Good morning, sir. My name is Ashish. I work with this bank, and I work with this bank as an investment banker for the last 15 years. And in the last 15 years, I've been recognized as someone who has really helped people achieving skyrocketing results with their investment plans. And today, I'm here to give you some very simple ideas which can help you manage your investments much better and create a lot of wealth for you. Now, this is better than the first one because this one you found in a structured way who you are, your credibility, what you have done, second point, and third, what you can do for that customer. When your introduction has got these 3 ingredients, then it is not just an introduction. It becomes a hero introduction because you are the hero, right? So next time, go with a little planned introduction so that it looks amazing. The customer has a great desire to speak to you. Moreover, you're able to build a good relationship and good rapport. Yeah. So please remember, good energy and hero introduction is the step number 1. Now, what's the second step? Let me ask you one question. How many of you have had an experience of visiting chemists? All of us, right? When you go to a chemist shop, let's say you go for a decided thought, you're going to go and buy medicines, right? You know the name of the medicine. So you go and ask your chemist, Do you have a paracetamol? He says, yes, here you go. You take the medicine in your home. That's one way of approaching. And that's exactly what a chemist does. You go with a problem, he gives you a solution straight. Now, look at it from a doctor's perspective. How would a doctor approach to a similar situation? When you go to a doctor, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to make you feel better. Okay, no worries, we'll take care of that. Please take a seat. And then he's going to ask questions to understand the challenge. So, well, I see you have fever. When was the last time you discovered you had fever? Other than fever, what else is not right? Okay, is it like usual, or like happens like every change of season, or is it the first time you experience something like this? And then, is there anybody else also suffering with similar fever in your family? Uh-huh. And then he says, don't worry, it'll be fine. Okay. Now, then he prescribes medicine and you feel so happy. You feel so happy because he looked after you. Always remember, customers don't want to be sold. They want to be looked after, right? So create that feeling, that emotional connect with whoever you're talking to. And that can happen only when you're open to listening to their challenges, their concerns. So be a doctor when you're going there. Have that mindset, that doctor's approach to help someone, okay, with a desire. Now, what is the third important thing that you got to do when you're actually going and meeting your customers or speaking to anyone for that matter? Let's say you're speaking to your supervisor, okay? And you would like to sell him an idea of automating software, automating some stuff. Like let's say there are a lot of reports you guys make and you would like to automate all that. So one way of approaching is, so we got this idea, let's automate this. That's how it's simple. It just collects all the information like this and it's much easier for you to work when you have data collected automatically. Well, that doesn't really interest a lot. Well, what will interest a lot to him is this, sir, as you know, currently we spend good 10 minutes assessing every report and then collating it takes further more time. And in a day, and we have seen situations we are stretched out, sometimes we work till late because we have to consolidate all the reports, right? And I've also noticed that you're also really in pressure sometimes because the report has to be sent and I can sense that sometimes as well. Sir, how would you feel if there is a solution to all this, which can really minimize the consolidation time from 10 minutes to 10 seconds. Then he's interested. He says, yeah, tell me what is it? So understand, what you need to do is when you're going and speaking to your boss or you're speaking to your customer, understand his pain points, understand challenges. You go to a customer, he says, you know, my biggest challenge today is that I am unable to track the overall status of my funds. How are my funds performing? I don't get to see that. Second, I don't have anyone that I can reach to, you know, for any changes. Third, I don't have time to open up websites and then see how my funds are performing because I'm very busy. So these are the three villains that you have to look for before you can really, really further propose your idea. Understand three key pain points. Remember the golden rule of three. If you can really capture three pain points, it'll be much easier for you to sell things further. Now, while you're capturing, by the way, keep noting down, okay? You must make sure that the customer feels that he is important and you're making good notes, and that also really helps you think of a good solution. Then after you've done this, is the time, you know, the villains, is the time to launch whom? To launch your hero product, which can take care of all these three villains, okay? Sir, how would you feel if there is something which can help you track very easily? And how would you feel if there's someone guiding you the moment your funds start performing differently and somebody to proactively support you? And sir, how would you feel if someone takes personal ownership of making sure that your fund grows every week without fail? How would you feel, sir? Yeah. Then he sees, yeah, those were my villains and you have a hero that takes care of all my challenges. He feels excited. Then he's more focused on listening to you. He's more interested in your conversation, right? And then it's the next very important step. When he's interested in listening, what do? Do you tell him, sir, we have a product and that does this, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's one way of doing that. There's nothing wrong in that. But remember this golden rule. Selling happens better when you're showing. Now, when you are saying something, it is okay. When you're showing something, it creates 100 times better impact, which means you have to follow the next rule that I'm going to share with you. It is called HID. Yes, HID. And HID stands for something very special. Okay. But before I share with you the HID rule, let me ask another quick question. How many of you have seen the magician on the stage coming up to you and saying that, you know, I'm a magician, I can do this, I can do this trick, I can do that trick, I can make this go crazy, I can make this, you know, I appear in front of you just like this, I can just hide things instantly. Well, you're listening all of that, but what you're really interested is in seeing what he can do. So basically, you have to then show your magic trick. And this, my dear friends, is called, you have to give a demo. HID stands for high impact demos. When you give a demo to someone, that someone feels excited and he's able and more capable to listen to you and follow your instruction. Tell him how it is done. Take an iPad, explain to him, so this is the dashboard. Imagine, yeah, Mr. A's account we are assessing right now. The moment you enroll with us, you get a notification like this. And then it's very easy for you to swipe screens and you can see how your every fund is performing, and you see which is performing good, which one is not performing good. It's so easy to notice here. And then right after, all you got to do is, you want to connect with me, just press a button here and I'll find time to speak to you proactively. When you feel like advice, you can call me instantly and I'll be right there to help you out. So when he sees all of that, it's much easier for them to follow your story. So high impact demo is what is really important when you're pitching in something. Okay, don't just say it, show it. Showing it more important than saying it. So please show it really effectively. Okay, so in the short time that you and I had today, we learned 5 awesome ideas on how you could sell your ideas better than ever before. Let's revise together very quickly. The first one we learned today is called, yes, you guessed it right, is the hero introduction. Your credibility, what you can do for the person, right, to help them. 2, go with a doctor's mindset, understand his challenges. Keep a note of all of that he says, and then understand and find out his top 3 pain areas, his top 3 villains, right? And then launch your hero who can take care of all those 3 villains. And then he's excited. Wow, I have a challenge, but now he has someone who can really help us overcome these challenges. And the 5th one, they're not really excited when you are saying a lot, but they're more excited when you're showing a lot. So HID, the high impact demo, is a brilliant strategy for you to further pitch in your product in a very effective way. All right. How many of you are excited to use these tools? Just give me a thumbs up right there and say excited. That's amazing. Wow. Great. Now, before we wrap up, everybody, I want to tell you something very interesting. This is one quality that every salesperson must have. And I'm going to share this quality with the help of a very short real story. My dear champions, back in 1992, Olympics were planned in Barcelona. Okay, it was one such day where Derek Redmond, one of the racers, was supposed to be racing against his competition, and there was a 400-meter semi-final race planned. So champions, he starts, and the moment he starts, he's doing pretty good. He starts the race, and after 150 meters of his race, this guy falls on the ground. And he realized there is excruciating pain in his feet. And he had unfortunately torn his hamstring. Now, hamstring are muscles between our knee and our hip joint. It was extremely painful for him. Very, very, very painful for him. He couldn't stand on his own. It was that extreme pain. And then he looked up and looked at that finish line. And he told himself, no matter what, I have to get there. He somehow stood up. And this guy, when he stood up, he started limping. He couldn't run, of course. He started limping. He couldn't walk properly. He started limping. And just the next minute, somebody came through the security, gave him a hand and said, come, let's do it together. This was his father. Said, son, let's go. Let's finish your race. And then they walked to the finish line. And just a few feet away, he said to his son, now you go and complete the race. And he completed the race with that limping feet. And the moment he did that, my dear friends, 65,000 people in the stadium, they moved up. And as they were standing, they gave a wonderful standing ovation to this guy. Derek has a very interesting message for all of us. And Derek's message today is this, everybody. You see, it is not about winning every sales call. It is not about you feeling a little challenged that you didn't do a very good job in the sales call. But it is about making sure that you give your 100% to the sales call, come what may. And this attitude is called the never give up attitude. So that everyone around you gives you a standing ovation and says, you did your very best. And listen, when you do your very best, you're more likely to sell. You're likely to win that little conversation. And I'm sure you definitely will. So my dear friends, never, 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 never give up. Because you were a star. You are a star, and you always be a star. Friends, it was a great pleasure speaking to you this afternoon. I want to thank you very much for tuning up to this wonderful, wonderful short session. If you like this session, and like all of you have found me on LinkedIn, people who have not found me on LinkedIn can easily find me. It's very simple to get there. Just type Ashish Singh Star Consulting and say enter, and you will find me right there, and you can connect with me. And please post your comment and tell me how you're liking these programs. Okay? Thank you very much for being a part of this journey once again. I'm always with you to help you anytime in life, whenever, wherever, and forever. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. May God bless you. Bye-bye.
Ashish ji, it was a great learning.
Ashish, you were as amazing as ever. Lot of energy as usual. Very interesting and focused workshop.
I think this training session has come up at the right time. This was very much required, Ashish. Really thankful for your support.
Ashish is my mentor also, and a lot of things I learned from him. Yeah, and he has a lot to give every time. He is a human charger.
Thank you so much, Ashish. Never thought a virtual session can be so interactive.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you very much for a wonderful session.
Thank you, Ashish.